Mercedes has just done something that BMW, Audi, and even its own Maybach division probably never expected. The brand took its most controlled and refined design philosophy and pushed it into completely unfamiliar territory. Imagine a vehicle created almost entirely around darkness, a machine where reflective surfaces have been intentionally eliminated, a vehicle that does not demand attention, but somehow pulls it toward itself. This is the 2026 Mercedes Dark X, and it raises a fascinating question. Has Mercedes created one of the most intimidating luxury vehicles of the decade? Or has it simply demonstrated that real luxury no longer has to sparkle in order to stand out? By the end of this video, you'll have a clear answer. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe because we take a closer look at the vehicles that genuinely deserve attention. Let's take a closer look at the Dark X. Start at the front, because this is where the Dark X immediately establishes its personality. The grille is neither chrome nor silver. Instead, it is completely finished in a deep matte black composite material that absorbs light rather than reflecting it back toward you. Traditional Mercedes grilles have often created their presence through polished surfaces and bright finishes. The Dark X takes a completely different approach. Its identity comes from shadow. The vertical grille elements are tightly arranged and perfectly uniform, creating an almost architectural appearance. Instead of looking overly aggressive, the front end feels controlled, precise, and disciplined. The headlights are positioned low and narrow, surrounded by a slim strip of cool white LED lighting. Against the nearly black bodywork, that thin line of illumination becomes extremely noticeable. There is no dramatic lighting show here. No elaborate animated sequence designed simply to impress people watching from the sidewalk. Instead, there is one clean and precise beam of light cutting across an otherwise dark front end. And that restraint is exactly what defines the Dark X. The hood is long, flat, and remarkably clean. Only two subtle creases travel toward the windshield, giving the surface just enough definition without making it unnecessarily complicated. Mercedes appears to have avoided the temptation to add oversized air intakes, vents, or artificial performance elements. This isn't a luxury vehicle pretending to be an aggressive sports machine. It knows exactly what it is. Move around to the side, and the proportions of the Dark X become much clearer. The roofline gradually falls toward the rear without turning the vehicle into a full coupe-style silhouette. That allows Mercedes to maintain useful rear headroom while still giving the SUV a sense of movement. The wheel arches are broad and completely occupied by massive 22-inch wheels. They use the same understated black finish as the body, ensuring that no single exterior element becomes unnecessarily dominant. Even the door handles follow this philosophy. They remain flush with the bodywork until they are needed, then disappear back into the surface when they're not being used. At the rear, the Dark X begins to look almost like a piece of sculpture. A single continuous light bar stretches across the width of the tailgate. It is extremely thin, almost blade-like, and produces the same cool white illumination found at the front. Below it, the Mercedes three-pointed star is finished in matte black rather than traditional chrome. You can recognize the emblem, but it doesn't scream for attention. The dual exhaust outlets are also concealed underneath the rear bumper instead of being displayed prominently. It's another subtle message from Mercedes. This vehicle doesn't need to perform for everyone watching from behind. Open the door, however, and the personality of the Dark X changes dramatically. From the outside, it feels dark, private, and almost severe. Inside, the atmosphere becomes calm, carefully considered, and remarkably quiet. This isn't an interior designed to overwhelm occupants with massive amounts of illumination and screens. Instead, it's designed to make you feel settled the moment you sit down. The dashboard centers around a large curved display, but Mercedes has deliberately toned down the interface with deep charcoal and graphite shades, rather than the bright, animated graphics seen throughout other models in the lineup. The Dark X uses technology in a much more restrained way. Ambient lighting is still present, but it is intentionally limited. Instead of flooding the entire cabin with light, it traces the lower sections of the doors and center console with a narrow, illuminated strip. The result is subtle rather than theatrical. The seats are covered in low-sheen matte leather that has been specially treated to minimize reflections from the cabin lighting. The stitching is equally understated. Instead of creating strong contrast, it closely matches the color of the seats. Even the wood trim receives a darker treatment. Where wood is used, Mercedes gives it a smoked oak finish so dark that it almost resembles stone rather than traditional timber. The steering wheel follows the same minimalist philosophy. There are fewer buttons and fewer controls packed onto the wheel itself. Mercedes appears to be putting greater confidence in voice commands and a central infotainment display for secondary functions. Everything has been designed around one idea: control without clutter, presence without unnecessary noise. Rear passengers aren't forgotten either. They receive reclining seats, an integrated center console with individual climate controls, and a panoramic glass roof that can be electronically darkened with the press of a button. That means the cabin can maintain its dark, private atmosphere even when the vehicle is sitting under direct sunlight. In almost every detail, the Dark X treats restraint itself as a form of luxury. Underneath this carefully controlled exterior, Mercedes is expected to offer a plug-in hybrid inline-six as the standard powertrain, with a fully electric version reportedly expected to arrive within the first year. Official output figures have not yet been confirmed, but early expectations suggest the hybrid could produce somewhere between 450 and 500 horsepower. That would put it comfortably above many vehicles in its segment without pushing the Dark X directly into AMG performance territory. And that distinction matters. The Dark X isn't being designed as a performance flagship. Its purpose is different. It is meant to provide one of the quietest and most composed ways to arrive somewhere important. Ride comfort is expected to rely heavily on Mercedes' latest air suspension technology, with the tuning focused more on creating a smooth, controlled, and exceptionally quiet cabin than on delivering aggressive cornering performance. In other words, the Dark X is designed to communicate power through composure rather than speed. Now let's talk about the numbers, because this is where the Dark X becomes especially interesting for its competitors. Expected starting pricing is around $95,000, while highly equipped versions could approach $115,000. Now compare that with the BMW X7, which starts around the high-$80,000 range and climbs beyond $100,000 in higher trims. The BMW gives you impressive driving dynamics, a powerful brand identity, and a well-established luxury reputation. But it doesn't deliver the same deliberately dark and highly controlled visual identity that defines the Dark X. Then there's the Audi Q8, which starts considerably lower at around $75,000. And this is where Mercedes appears to be playing a different game altogether.